BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
Tough day, and I knew it was just going to be about willpower and mental, and yeah, it really came down to the last few points, but overall I'm just really happy with the fight that I managed today. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done, and that's all that matters.
Start the question over here.
Congratulations, Coco.
Thanks.
Well played. Just how bad were the conditions on court? Because from where we sit, we never really feel the wind. So can you just describe to us what it was like on court? Was it kind of going one way or swirling? And how difficult was it? Aryna described the conditions as terrible.
Yeah, it was really difficult, especially like on the far end of the court. It was so hard to hit the ball and get it through the court, and then the other side, if you didn't accelerate, it would fly. It was really like my first round match. It felt very similar to that, so I knew what to expect. I didn't know if the roof was going to be open or closed to about like 40 minutes before the match, and after playing my last two matches indoor, it was definitely a different experience, and yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be easy for either of us.
Well done, Coco.
Thanks.
So how is this one different than the first one in terms of like emotionally what you went through when it was over, what it's been like the last hour, and just sort of what it feels like? I guess part of it. I mean, how is it the same, and how might it be different, and what does it do for you?
Yeah, obviously I think the first one was maybe more emotional, but I think this one was just harder because, you win one and you just don't want to get satisfied with just that one. So it was very difficult to match up. And I also felt like, this one was one I really wanted because I do think this was one of the tournaments that when I was younger, that I felt that I had the best shot of winning. So I just felt like if I went through my career and didn't get at least one of these, I would feel regrets and stuff. So today playing Aryna, I was just like, I just got to go for it and try my best to get through the match. And yeah, that's what I did.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You mentioned in your trophy ceremony having dark thoughts. I think it was a phrase you used after your 2022 final here. Can you just talk through, I guess, on paper it looks like you've kind of had this perfect career. You won second Grand Slam by 21, but there have been some harder moments. Can you just talk about that and what sort of made those thoughts come up as you were standing there with the trophy today?
Yeah, I just remembered, that ceremony when Iga won. I just remember trying to take it all in and pay attention to every detail and just feel like I wanted that experience for myself. And so when the anthem got played, I vividly remember watching her pretty emotional when the Polish anthem got played, and I was like, wow, that's such a cool moment. So when anthem got played today, I kind of had those reflections, and yeah, it was a tough time. I was doubting myself, wondering if I would ever be able to succumb, and especially my mentality going into that match. I was crying like before the match and like so nervous and like literally couldn't breathe and stuff. So I was like, if I can't handle this, how am I going to handle it like again? And then obviously US Open happened, which I think that credit that reaction. And now I just felt really ready today. And I was like, I'm just going to leave it all out there. And regardless of what happens, I can leave proud.
Hello, Coco. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For one double break, first set, I would like to know how you felt at this moment, both emotionally and tennistically. What had to be done to change the score?
Yeah, honestly, I felt my timing was so off in the beginning with the wind and stuff, and I was just getting every point, and I was down double break against Madison Keys, so I had thoughts of that match as well, and just felt like I could use that experience that today. So I really think that match helped me today. It was kind of a similar score line. Honestly, it was lost that set 7-6. If you swap the last two sets, it would be the same score line. So, or almost the same score line. So yeah, I think I was recounting on that match for today.
Yeah, Coco, I remember talking to you and your parents a few years ago, and there was talk of French lessons and slinging some French out there. Did that cross your mind? Were you tempted to give it a shot at the ceremony or not?
Yeah, I thought about saying at the ceremony how I've really tanked on my French, because I was like, I've thought for so long when I was studying French that I would do this in French, and I completely tanked on that. So maybe if I get another opportunity, I can try again. At least, for sure, I don't think I can do a whole speech, but maybe at least like a good something to say to the French crowd. I thought about writing something, because when I can read it, it's better, but off the top of my head, no. I thought about writing something before the match, but I didn't want to jinx it, so I didn't do it.
Hi, Coco. Congratulations. Sometimes it seems like losing a tight first set, as you did today, almost makes you more likely to go on and win a tennis match. Like, this kind of pattern of matches happened to you quite a lot. Like, how do you feel after losing a heartbreaking, lengthy set like that? How do you kind of make it more likely to go on and win the match?
Yeah, I mean, obviously first just disappointment, especially because I had so many chances in that tiebreaker, and obviously she played well and when it mattered in that set. And yeah, I just kind of was just like, well, I got to try again and not play the same way. I was trying to be more aggressive in the second set, which it worked. And then the third, I mean, I knew she was going to raise her level, which she came out playing well at that first game. And so I was just like, I have to try to match it. And yeah, just run. I mean, I know it's so hard to out-hit her. So I was trying my best to put her on defense. But with the win and stuff, you know, I felt it was also more important to try to get as many balls in the court as possible. Just because it was tough to like plant your feet. The ball was moving so much. Some shots that I felt really comfortable on a normal day felt awful today.
Hi there, Coco. Aryna has been in and made it clear how frustrating she found the conditions, the wind. How aware were you of what was going on over the other side of the court there in her mind and with her body language? And does that form part of maybe the tactics in a way to try to get a feeling more like that?
Yeah, I was aware a little bit, but also, like, I don't pay attention too much, especially against Aryna, because I've seen her get mad and then go on a tear. So I was just trying not to pay attention to it today. I knew I was frustrated, maybe if I didn't show it as much, but I was visible, like, oh, I think in my head I was frustrated, and I know if I'm frustrated, then my opponent has to be frustrated. So yeah, it was not a day for great tennis, honestly. I don't know too many people that could play great tennis today, but you know, it's part of the sport and part of playing outside. You just don't know what to expect, especially in Paris.
Just to follow up on that, congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you, though, take pride almost in seeing, when you see an opponent who is kind of getting frustrated or struggling with the conditions, does that kind of give you a little bit of a lift?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't give me much of a lift, just because it wasn't great. So yeah, obviously when you see your opponent frustrated in any circumstance, if it's tough or not, obviously it does uplift you just because you know that they're frustrated. But like today, it wasn't anything that I was paying attention to too much, just because I feel like she's the type of player that lets that frustration out and then can play some great tennis. So I was just not really focused on her this much and more so focused on me.
Hi, Coco.
Thanks.
Congratulations. How's it like to lift that trophy? Is it a bit heavy? I saw you kind of suffering holding the trophy.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Do you have a special place for it?
Well, they give us a little small one. So this one is heavy. I was trying to see which one was heavier, this one or US Open. They were both heavy. They kind of look the same now that I'm looking at it up close. But it feels great to lift it. Honestly, being on the podium is really cool. I like how they do that. It makes you feel like on top of the world and stuff. So that was definitely a moment I won't forget in a crowd full of people, too.
Incredible accomplishment, Coco. Well done.
Thank you.
It's interesting you spoke about hearing the Polish anthem a few years back, and now today you seem to be struck by the StarSpangled Banner. I know you're a tennis player first and foremost, but can you speak about what it's like traveling the world as an American? Have you reflected on that? What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. And, you know, obviously there's a lot going on in our country right now with things like everything. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know. But just to be able to be a representation of that, and a representation of, I guess, people that look like me in America who maybe don't feel as supported during this time period. And so just being that reflection of hope and light for those people. And I remember, you know, after the election and everything, it was a kind of felt down period a little bit and things like that. And my mom told me, like, during Riyadh, just try to win the tournament just to give something for people to smile for. And so that's what I was thinking about today when holding that, and then seeing the flags in the crowd means a lot. And, you know, some people may feel some type of way about being patriotic and things like that, but I'm definitely patriotic. I'm proud to be American, and I'm proud to represent, you know, the Americans that look like me and people who kind of support the things that I support.
Hi, Coco. Congrats.
Thanks.
Your first hug was for Spike Lee.
Yes.
He was mad about you all the match.
Yes.
Can you describe your relationship with him?
Honestly, the only time I've that was the first time I really met him up close. I seen him at my matches at US Open, and then when I saw him on the court today, I saw him when I was warming up. They like panned the camera to him in the gym when I was warming up, and I was like, oh my gosh, Spike Lee's there. And then I kind of felt bad because I usually put my towel in that spot, which is why I feel like he sat there. But because you know, the lower ranked player gets the other box, I put my towel in the other box. And then when I saw him on the court, I was like, if I win this match, the first person I'm going to dap up is Spike Lee. And so once I won the match, I went on the ground and everything. I was headed straight to Spike Lee. And yeah, I wanted to tell him, you know, I had to do it, you know, even though the Knicks didn't win. I'm glad I gave him something to cheer for. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I haven't seen the video yet, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, Coco, at the start, you said it was about willpower and mental strength. What seemed noticeable is that you didn't seem to, I would say, panic or give into any nerves at any time. Maybe you were feeling them. Was that a key part of your victory, was to keep that mental strength really high level?
Yeah, especially in that last game, I was like definitely freaking out and stuff, and also serving on the other side of the court where it's harder to serve, I think. So I was definitely just trying my best to stay calm, and if I wasn't going to show it, but I was feeling it, but I was just trying to breathe and get through them and just remember my fundamentals.
Okay, a few more. Over here.
Hi.
Hey.
Finals in Madrid, in Rome, you won here. You made a lot of matches on clay courts. And which are your programs before Wimbledon? We will take some day off. What will the preparation for Wimbledon?
Honestly, I haven't thought that far ahead. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to take some days off for sure. I'm signed up for Berlin right now. We'll see, you know, if I play or not. You know, this part of the season is new just because of the fact that it's so short, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll have that conversation with my team and take their opinions and see what they think's best. But for sure, I'm going to rest and enjoy it and not go into training too quickly, just because I feel like, you know, this stuff doesn't happen too often, so just got to enjoy it.
Okay, a couple more. We'll do one up here and then one in the middle there. One just up front here, I'm sorry.
Coco, congrats.
Thank you.
You talk a lot about perspective and that there's a lot worse things happening in the world than people losing in Grand Slam finals.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to become a better person. That's what it's all about. But do you think that it actually helps you in these big moments, in front of these big moments on the tennis court?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, after I lost the first set, you know, I told myself, like, I'll just give it my all. And, you know, if I lose this match, then at least I can say I gave it all out there, and I'll go home and get to see my boyfriend and everything like that. And honestly, I've been telling myself that every day. Obviously, I'd love to be here. I'd love to win. But, you know, sometimes you realize, you know, if you lose, not whatever. I mean, I hate losing, but you know what I mean? It's you go home, you reset. So today when I lost that first set, I was just like, try not to put too much pressure on the match. And yeah, I think it worked. I was able to loosen up after that and play a little bit freer.
Congratulations, Coco. When Aryna sat here, she said that she thinks if Iga had won her, she wins the thing today because of how the match turned up. Do you think the way you play today, you beat anyone? It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net?
She said if I play Iga in the final.
She said that if we go, she didn't mention exactly winning you, but she said if Iga won me, she would win the thing.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm here sitting here. And last time I played, no, like to Iga or anything, but I played her and I won in straight sets. So, yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing to say because anything can really happen. And, yeah, honestly, I mean, the way Aryna was playing the last few weeks, she was the favorite to win. So I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final, her being #1 in the world. It was the best person to play. So I think I got the hardest matchup just if you go off stats alone. Obviously, Iga being a champion here, it was going to be a tough match either way. But yeah, I think regardless of who I played, I think I had a good shot to win, and I definitely had that belief. And if you ask me, like, honestly speaking to you guys who I wanted to play, it was Iga just because I felt Aryna was playing so good, and she was. So, but also Iga is a tough opponent too. So honestly, neither of them would have been a better shot, but you know, it played out how it played out, and yeah, that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, you did well anyway.
Thanks.
I just wanted to ask you about your parents. You went up to see them there, and I know you were talking about going to escape rooms with them and stuff during the tournament, and your mom has been traveling with you a lot, and your dad's around more hidden a lot of times too. Just what has their support meant to you, sort of guiding you through? Because you've been in this it's hard to remember how young you still are sometimes because you've been on this road a long time and they've been there by your side the whole way. Yeah, it's meant a lot to me. And, you know, they're definitely someone who listens to my opinion the most. And I think, you know, sometimes we hear crazy stories and tennis parents and all that. And I can say I don't relate to that. I've asked my dad to take a step back, and he did, and ended up being a great thing for both of us. And my mom, I needed her to be on the road more just to have, especially, well, I have my physio, but, you know, being on a team full of men, I was like, I need some estrogen and some female energy here. So I asked my mom to go. And, you know, women just notice more things. So, yeah, hugging them at the end. My mom was pretty emotional. My dad was just happy. My dad cried at U.S. Open. He didn't cry here. So, but I didn't think they were going to cry. But, yeah, honestly, it's just been so great to have them and be able to, for them to experience. They put so much sacrifice into this. So I'm glad that I get to experience with them. Okay, thank you.